What's going on, everybody? Y'all already know the vibes, baby. And today we're going to be ranking the rosters that are going into Call of Duty Vanguard. To start the video off, I'm just going to get straight into it. FaZe is the first team. They will be S tier. There shouldn't be any argument from anyone. They were the best team last year. They're sticking together. You know, there's not going to be a change. I saw Simp play in the beta, some of the other players. Unless it's literally just the most unfortunate situation ever. FaZe is going to be absolutely dominant once again in Vanguard. Doesn't matter. Okay. It looks just like Modern Warfare, in my opinion. So they have to go in S tier. I really can't say anything else about them because it'd be stupid for me to try and argue that they aren't the best team going into the game. And then we have another official team, a team that didn't make a roster change in the offseason. That is Toronto Ultra. And I feel like they deserve respect and they should be in the S tier. But I'll tell you what, I'm a little worried, and here's why. They obviously were fantastic in Cold War. Okay, all the players were great. They had great teamwork. So I'm not worried in that sense. I feel like no matter what Call of Duty they play, these guys are going to have good synergy. They're going to have good communication. They're going to understand the game and how to play it as a team. But when you look at these players, Insight, Cammy, Kleenex, and Bance, I feel like they weren't the best Modern Warfare players. Now, I'm not saying they were bad by any means. I mean, Insight, I don't even know if he played. Cammy, Kleenex, and Bance, they obviously all played. But they weren't anything special. They weren't what they were in Cold War. Now, I haven't played the beta. I only watched it a little bit. But from what everyone's saying, it's basically Modern Warfare just skinned as World War II. And if that is the case, I would be a little bit worried. Like, I think right now you have to put them in S tier because I'm kind of really, I'm like overthinking the situation, you know, and they deserve their respect. So I will put them in S tier. But this is a team that I could see potentially not doing that great, or not playing up to how they played in Cold War, and maybe making some team changes at some point. That's, you know, in some capacity during the Vanguard year. By the way, I am reading all of these teams off of the Reddit, so it's not like they're in any specific order, like official, unofficial, whatnot. But so the next team, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. We get to have some fun with it, is the Dallas/Optic team. Okay, there's been rumors about this merger. I don't think there's been any official news unless I just live on a rock and I haven't seen it. But I think that's what people are saying is bound to happen. Hasn't been made official yet. But the rumored team is also going to be Dashi, Illy, Skump, and Shotzi. So obviously Modern Warfare, right? I'm just going to I'm going to keep saying that because from what I've been told from the other pro players, and just I feel like the general consensus of all Call of Duty fans is this is Modern Warfare and World War II skin. And I know Modern Warfare was 5v5. Okay, Vanguard is going to be 4v4. But if it's the same mechanic, you got to think Illy and Shotzi are going to be really fucking good. They were both unbelievable at Modern Warfare. I mean, they won COD champs in Modern Warfare. And then you have Skump and Dashi. Now, Dashi kind of had a down year. You know, he was on OGLA with Slasher, with Kenny, with Teej, with Cap. He ended up getting benched. Not for his talent, but I feel like he just never could get comfortable in this role that he was playing. So I don't have like a great feel about him in a Modern Warfare base game. And then you have Skump, who I thought Skump was very solid throughout the entire year. And on paper, dude, this team is very talented. They are. And while even though don't really know how I feel about Dashi, you know, when I'm looking back and thinking about Modern Warfare, and I know Skump was solid. If they have this team, and if Dashi is the main AR, he's going to be great. He's going to be great if he's the main AR of this team. And I think Skump having Illy and Shotzi around him, he's going to be just fine. So I have to say, I think they'd be an S tier too. So a lot of these teams, by the way, guys, the rumored and the ones that remain official, a lot, like the league's always been top heavy, but it seems like it's even more top heavy now. Some of these new teams are really good. I know we haven't seen this Dallas Optic team play at all. But I'm going to go ahead and just slide them in the S tier as well. And then next up, guys, we have NYSL Once again, I don't think this is official, but the rumor team is Clay, Crim, Hydra, and Neptune. This is a tough one because Clay and Crim were on that Dallas Empire team that won in Modern Warfare, won champs. Then you have Hydra, superstar rookie, not rookie of the year, but superstar rookie last year, was phenomenal. And Neptune, I don't know if I would say superstar, but star rookie last year as well. And it's interesting. If this is the team, Clay and Crim are basically doing the exact same thing they did with Empire in Modern Warfare, where they get two young guns and they just kind of mold them as players, which I like. But I just don't know how good this team would mesh. Like Clay and Crim, don't get me wrong, two of the all-time greats. They weren't anything crazy in Modern Warfare. You know, Modern Warfare was basically put on the backbone of Kyler, Shotzi, and Illy. And Clay and Crim, you know, they were obviously IGLing, they were leaders. But in terms of like a talent standpoint, they weren't like the best of the best. They weren't bad, but they just weren't the best of the best. And I just don't know how I like this combo of players with Hydra and Neptune. Even though I do see it, I do see what they're going for. Hydra is more of a methodical, slower sub. You have Neptune, the crackhead, and you have the two OGs, the two old heads, Clay, Crim, one running main, one running flex. I'm guessing, depending on how the meta is. But in terms of ranking, on paper, you got to think that this will be a top tier team. I can't put them S tier. I cannot put them S tier, but I have them just one tier below. For me, NYSL, they will slide into the A tier. The Los Angeles Guerrillas are up next, and I'll tell you what, I love this team. I do. This is an official team. LAG tweeted it out. It is Slasher, Gunless, Huke, and Asum. Asum, Slasher last year, even Gunless, I think, to a certain extent. Not last year, I'm sorry, in Modern Warfare. They weren't great. Now, a lot of that could be from online. I've heard rumors that we're going to have all LAN going in the Vanguard, which would be huge. Not sure if that'll be the case or not. They weren't great. Kyler was the only one who was an elite level player, I feel like, in Modern Warfare. But when you look at this team on paper, this is one of the most talented teams in the league. They have some of the most experienced players, some of the clutches, multiple MVPs across this team. And I just like it. Like, I like Slasher on the main. I like Gunless on the flex. Huke and Seam are the sub duo. I feel like this will be a team that Kyler can be comfortable with and really rebound after Cold War. The only thing that I'm worried about is their vibes. Now, I know Slasher and Gunless kind of had beef back when they were teaming in World War II for Rise. But I will say this. I think Slasher and Gunless have both improved in their attitudes, in their individual attitudes. I think Gunless is a unbelievable talent. And I think, you know, from what I've seen as of late, the last year, 2 years, he's a great teammate. He's one of the most passionate, one of the most dedicated players. But I feel like the way he goes about it, the way he handles himself, he's improved tremendously. It's like tenfold. So if the vibes are not absolutely toxic shit can vibes, I think this team could be, I can't even say dark horse because they look unbelievable on paper. I think this team could be a top team and they could be competing for chips throughout the entire year. Right now, I think I have them in the A tier alongside NYSL. Next up, my favorite roster going into Vanguard's none other than the Los Angeles Thieves, LAT. This team is official. It is Octane, Draza, Kenny, and Envoy. I love this team as well. I think LA, they got it good this year with LA Thieves and the Los Angeles Guerrillas, because both of these teams on paper look absolutely amazing. Octane is back. He is the main AR. I know people kind of have mixed opinions on him because how the last 2 years went with Seattle, but he wasn't happy. When he's not happy, he's not passionate, he's not giving it his all. Whether or not you want to judge him for that, that's not what I'm doing here. But when he's happy and he's passionate, he's one of the best main ARs in the game, especially when it's on LAN. You saw how good Sam did on LAN at Major 5. And if the whole league is on land, you got to feel like he's going to be one of, if not the best main AR in the game. You have Kenny, Envoy, Draza. Okay. From what I've heard, Kenny wants to run that main AR, or not main, but like an AR or flex role. So that would mean Draza and Envoy are on the subs. Now, I'm not worried, but the one thing that I will point out is I think Draza is crazy good. Kid's got a lot of potential, super talented. But I feel like when I've seen him play, he's kind of played that flex role, right? And he's had that play style of a flex. Like how he moves on the map, he's very finesse heavy, but he's not super aggro. He's not slow by any means. He's a finesse lord, okay? And if he has to run a main sub on this team, not only does he have to do that, now I'm spitballing because we don't know the meta. But if he has to run a sub, he is going to have to be the entry fragger, the aggro sub. And I've never seen him really play that role. Not saying he can't do it, because, you know, every role that I've seen him run, he's run very damn, like, about as good as you can do it, you know. But the entry fragger is the hardest role in the league. Okay, just because you watch a BZ do it doesn't mean it's easy. He's just different. But if Draws can get comfortable, I think he's the perfect sub duo for Envoy. Envoy's gonna be that methodical, okay, that route man sub, a little bit slower. He's not gonna be the entry fragger per se, but Envoy's a top tier talent as well. He's one of the best players in the game. He's been one of the best players the last 2 years. Honestly, last 3 years, if you go back to Black Ops 4. And so when you look at this team strictly on paper, you know the talent's there. I love the Octane, Kenny, that synergy. The vibes are unmatched with them. So they're going to bring that back. And then also Kenny and Draws have been teaming. I know Kenny loves Draws. And you have Envoy. I think Envoy, I don't want to say he's the black sheep, because I talked to Envoy. He is super cool. He's not as, I guess, he doesn't feel like as loose as Kenny, Draws, and Sam, if that makes sense. But I would compare Envoy, his personality, to kind of how Priesta was. And that's how I think he's gonna be in this team. Is he's gonna be Priesta vibe-esque for this team. And it'll be good. It'll be good. Because you have Octane, you have Ken. Dross is basically my vibes. You know what I'm saying? He's a little off the ropes comedian. So I think their vibes are going to be great. They're going to be unbelievably talented. And yeah, maybe I'm biased. I'm putting LAT in S tier. I did LAT last year in S tier, I believe. And, you know, it flopped. But whatever. You live and you learn. You bounce back. I got LAT in S tier. Next up, we have the Minnesota Rocker. Okay, this is official, by the way. They are sticking together going into Modern Warfare. Don't know how I feel about this team. Really don't. You know, they turned up. They won Stage 5 in Cold War. And I think they got, what, 4th at Champs or something. They put it together almost at the right time. They had the greatest comeback in the history of Call of Duty. One of the greatest comebacks in the history of all of esports. So it's understandable, I guess, being able to experience that together. You're going to want to give it another crack, you know, because maybe you're like, hey, we didn't even play up to our potential and we won an event. We got top 4 at Champs. Let's give it another go and see how we do. And while I think some of these players were really good at MW, you know, Major Maniac was a staple for FaZe. Priesta was on FaZe, unbelievable. I don't know if Standy played, and then you obviously have Attach. But I just think with the way other teams have constructed their team, they made these moves. I feel like when you look at on paper, Minnesota is lacking. They're not as talented as these other teams. Now, on paper only gets you so far. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really mean much once you actually start playing the game, but none of these teams have played. So I think just alone on the talent and what I saw last year and in Modern Warfare, I got to put Rocker in my B tier, unfortunately. Love the guys over there. I hope they prove me wrong. But damn, someone's got to go into B tier. You know what I'm saying? I had like 4 S tiers. And then we have the graveyard for professional CDL players. That is none other than the Seattle Surge. Now, this is a rumored team, I believe, once again. The rumored team is Accuracy, Mac, Sib, and Pred. Predator's an Australia player. You have Sibilance, Challengers player. And then you guys already probably know who Accuracy and Mac are. Now, this team is another team. I'm cool with Lamar, cool with Sib. You know, I don't know Pred or Mac really at all. But when you're looking at this strictly on paper, this team is just, they're not all there. They're not all there. Now, this will be Sib and Predator's rookie year in the Pro League if this team is true, okay? And yeah, there's a good chance that they could have superstar level years. We've seen it the past couple of years now. New players first year, you have just superstars in the making, right? But then there's also been a lot of rookie players who haven't been that good. Now, I know Pred is highly rated. Sib's highly rated. But I'm just saying there's a chance, right? It's like throwing a dart at a dartboard. Maybe you'll hit, maybe you won't. You know, maybe you'll win a lottery. Maybe you will waste $1,000 at a local gas station in Los Angeles and then literally drink yourself to sleep. But they're just not adding up for me. You know, from what I've seen from these players, they're solid. But when you look, I listed a lot of these other teams already. Okay. There's only London Royal Ravens besides them and Paris, I think, but they might as well just sold the spot. I gotta put them in the C tier. I do. For right now, it's Seattle Surge. I don't even blame the players. Players could it could be literally Cold War's phase team on Seattle Surge. It's a retirement home so far. It's 2 years now. And until they prove me wrong, that's just, they're the graveyard. I can't say anything else about them. And then lastly, we have London Royal Ravens. The rumor team is Afro, who I thought was great. Zero's coming back, Nasty, and Gizmo. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know much about Nasty or Gizmo. I know a lot about Trey. Trey's one of the greatest European players of all time. Afro, rookie year last year, kind of late in the season, played fantastic. I love what the kid does. I think he has potential to be a superstar in this league. And I'm not hating on any of the UK guys, especially if I have UK fans that watch all these videos. Shout out to y'all if you do. But for sake of argument, they got to go D tier. They just have to. Nasty and Gizmo might be next up. They might, but I need to slot a D tier in. And honestly, just on paper, they clearly don't stack up in my eyes. Like I said, could be wrong. Don't kill me if you're from the UK, if you're a European fan. But I will say, for some reason, looking at this team, look at the names, I feel like if this is the team, they could have like nasty teamwork. I don't know why. You know what? I'm putting them in D tier, but also put a stamp. They're my dark horse. Now, I know I didn't do Paris Legion. That's because they're probably having a hard time even getting a damn team because they want to pay the bare minimum. And then if the Dallas Optic merger, that means the NRG spot opens up, which I know people have been saying Cloud9 or someone or whatever. But I haven't seen any rumors on that team. Honestly, I haven't heard anything on Florida either. So that is my power ranking tier list going into Vanguard. Obviously going to be tough. We haven't seen the game yet. And who knows? Maybe we get a huge shakeup. There's another team that I haven't even said. And they turn everyone's head. Who knows? But I appreciate the love. As always, we are so close to 30,000 subs on YouTube. So if you like me or you hate me, just to make me feel a little better, please hit that sub button and help me get to 30K. I love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. I'm going to see y'all when I see y'all. Deuces.